Be Bruja here, and today I am back to show you how to make a drawing oil. And my drawing oil is specifically going to be for Bastet, which is my main goddess that I work with. If you guys want to know how to draw in Bastet's energy, or how to draw in any sort of deity's energy with an anointing oil or some sort of special perfume or cologne that you can make for them, then stick around and I will show you how to do that. And here's the part where I ramble about why do you need a drawing oil or an anointing oil specifically for the gods or deities that you are working with. If you are having a hard time forming a connection with certain gods, goddesses, or deities, then this might help them call towards you and call forth towards your energy. It's not 100% guarantee, or if you feel like you've lost that spiritual bond or connection with that deity, or it's just dulling in a sense and they don't feel as present as they used to when you first started out, then this is something good to make. This will help you strengthen that spiritual bond, that connection with that god or goddess or deity. This will actually be in my shop. So when I'm done making this specific drawing oil for Bastet, you guys can purchase this oil. I am going to specifically put a strand in hair in my personal oil. It's going to be separate from the main batch. But if you guys purchase this, the main batch will not have my strand of hair in it. You can put your own strand of hair into that oil or an eyelash or something of you to connect you to Bastet, because this is supposed to help your guys' spiritual connection grow and flourish in this lifetime and the next. You can use this oil to anoint objects or to anoint certain spell work. You can anoint a Bastet statue with it, her altar area, or anything that you might be giving her. If it's an offering of food or drink, of course, why would you do that? Don't put things like that in there, because why would you want to be drinking like perfume scented oils in the first place? And I'm pretty sure most of you don't want to do that either, so don't do that. But anything that logically makes sense to put this oil on to draw her energy towards, that's what you're going to use it for. You can also put this on your being to have her spiritual connection or guidance or protection wherever you go. You can place this on the bottom of your cat's dishes, or on their cat scratching post, or on a windowsill that they would normally sit at, and that will help protect them and draw Bastet close to your cats, and it will help strengthen that connection between you and your cats as well, because that is very important. Bastet represents a cat for a reason. She adores cats and her personality is very feline. Anyone who works with her typically has a more feline personality, or at least personality traits. Imagine what you would like too, because usually most people who work with her are very feline-esque, and your personalities should be somewhat close or aligned in some way. With that energy in mind, feel her energy and channel through her. Assemble this oil in a way that feels true to you, that feels right to you. You do not have to follow every step that I did to a T. This may not resonate with everybody out there, and that's okay. Each path is our own unique spiritual path to learn and grow from. I am just showing you what works for me and may possibly work for you. I am going to be using a whisker in this working, but if you do not have any, that is fine. Might not have everything I have. She likes plenty of other things. Like I said, channel through her, feel her energy, and assemble this oil accordingly to how she feels, not specifically you. You're just a conductor, a conduit. You're being channeled through. You may find that you like a lot of things that she likes, or everything that she likes, which is typically how that works. If you are particularly drawn or connected to a certain deity, you will find that your personality traits and things that you like are very much alike, especially if you have lived some past lives worshiping this deity or working alongside this deity in some sort of way. So that will continue into your next lifespan, and you'll just know things about them or feel a certain way about them just because you were that close to them. And that's how I personally feel about Bastet. I am making this oil for her as an offering, first off. We're going to use this oil to help draw in my kitty cat that I have right now and strengthen our bond, which has already gotten a lot better than what it was. This is particularly what I'm going to be using it for, so Bastet can aid and guide her and protect her. And I'm also going to be anointing her statue with it every time I take care of her altar and I give prayer and blessings and offerings. When I do that, I'll be anointing her statue with this oil as well. So there's a few things that you can use it for, or you can just anoint yourself with it daily and her statue with it daily, or some sort of offering that you give her that is not edible, of course, would be the best, would help strengthen your spiritual, psychic connection and emotional connection with her. I am making this on a new moon because that is the most emotionally inclined, heightened spiritual awareness time that you can actually call forth this energy and channel with your deities, especially if it's a feminine deity. Emotional energy is usually more feminine based. It's not a masculine trait. So this is something that you would call forth as a female, call upon your feminine energy to work with this deity in particular. It doesn't mean you have to be a female. You can be a male and worship the shit out of Bastet. It's not, you know, sex-based. I would highly recommend a new moon because your intuition should be off the hook right now. You should be able to channel and connect with your deities very well at this point in time. So I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm going to make this oil. I'm going to bless it. I hope you enjoy the video. Here are the materials you are going to need. You're going to need a base oil. I chose grapeseed oil for Bastet's anointing oil. You're going to need a lot of essential oils to create this perfume or cologne for the god or goddess that you are working with. I have sandalwood, frankincense, patchouli, essential oil. I also have some dehydrated ingredients, rosebuds, cinnamon sticks, catnip, and I have vanilla essential oil and a rose essential oil and a lotus essential oil. I have 2 different bottles here. One is going to be a personal bottle for myself. And I also have some glitter, which is optional, and I have some stones to help charge this up. My selection for the stones were rose quartz, tiger's eye, labradorite, lapis, desert rose, and obsidian, which is sacred to Egyptians. I am also using Egyptian jasmine incense to call forth Bastet. She really enjoys this scent. And I have a purple candle here to heighten intuition. Spiritual connection is what we're trying to do here. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and grab your base oil jar. I have my grapeseed oil here, and I blessed that earlier for divine connection. And I am now accumulating my catnip, and I'm going to put that into the oil, and I'm going to bless the catnip for an attraction aspect to help attract Bastet and keep our connection strong. Next, I have a broken up cinnamon bark, and I bless this cinnamon bark for love. Next up, I have 8 rosebuds. This was a number that felt right. 8 is an infinite number, which means from another realm and the next. Typically, people think of 13, but 8 is infinite, and it takes balance. So it takes a balance of this world and another realm in order for this tie to be complete, which means that connection between Bastet and I will be from another realm and this one. So those 2 paths closely intertwine in that signature look, that symbolism of the 8. So I'm going to add those in there one by one, and that is also for love. The vanilla essential oil is also going to be for love, and as well as the rose essential oil. There's a lot of love here. I know you guys are like, this is supposed to be for a spiritual bond, but why is there so much correlation with love? Love towards yourself and others is a divine thing to dish out. So working with gods or goddesses takes a lot of love to give, and it has to be selfless. So I want her to know that she is loved and welcome around me at all times. Next up, you saw me put in the sandalwood, which is for a heightened spiritual connection. So now we're getting into the spiritual connections. So I'm going to bless the sandalwood for that. And then I'm going to go in with patchouli, which is supposed to help your psychic awareness and heighten your spiritual connections. Next is frankincense, and frankincense is used by so many cultures to heighten their psychic awareness and enhance spiritual connection. Next is the lotus essential oil, and the lotus is depicted in Egypt quite a bit, and same with Hindi deities. The lotus is a divine rebirth, renewal sort of symbolism, but also is something very divine and spiritually connected. So I'm going to use that for a spiritual connection representation. Next, I'm going to add the lapis stone, which is a very emotionally bonding stone and can also enhance your psychic awareness. Next is the whisker, and this is something that'll be like a cross bridge for the both of us because we both love cats. She is a cat and she adores them and anything to do with cats. So this is something I highly recommend putting into this oil is a whisker. I added some glitter. Purple was there for heightened spiritual psychic awareness, and then I added the gold for the divine spiritual connection with Bastet. You can add different colors and they will represent different things. That is entirely up to you and how you feel Bastet's energy. And now you chant your incantation. Bastet, our bond is sacred, our bond is true. Forever and always shall I be spiritually connected to you. You can say this for however many times you need to until it like sets in and you feel your words are completely true and sincere. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys learned a few things about how to make a conjuring oil or a drawing oil, whatever you would like to call this. Either way, it has the same purpose to draw in that deity or god or goddess that you would like to work with and have a stronger, more spiritual, long-lasting connection with them in this life and into the next. This oil smells lovely, guys. This is something that I'd imagine Bastet would just douse herself in, and everywhere she went, you would smell her going through the corridors or the hallways or into a temple, and you'd know that was her because it's a signature scent and it smells so uplifting and divine. I would love to just slather this onto myself all the time. Honestly, it smells amazing to me. I was just smelling it here and there to try and figure out if this is a little too much of this, enough of this, etc., etc. Basically, just channeling her and letting her guide my hand of, you know, this would be better than that, so hold off on that and put more of this or a little less of this. So I'm just a conduit, I'm a conductor, and I'm just making the things that in my heart and I know that she would want. Stay true to yourself, guys. Usually you have a connection to these gods or deities for a reason and you are part of them. So trust yourself in this process and make it the way you think it should be made, not just because somebody else told you it has to be this way. More often than not, you work with these deities because you have so before, even if you are a completely different race now, so don't get cultures confused. A lot of people like to limit cultural beliefs in magic and keep that closed off. I think it's a crock of shit because most of these cultures believe in reincarnation in past lives. So why would you keep reincarnating into the same race? It doesn't make any sense. You don't have any control over that. So if you feel a certain way towards certain gods or goddesses or deities, entities, whatever you want to call it, you do so for a reason. So cherish that connection and enhance it with some drawing oil or conjuring oil. Until next time, I will see all you lovely little brujitas later.